Avery, whose show is this? And we're live. Welcome everybody here to the Lakers Lounge podcast. I'm Anthony Irwin, Senior Lakers Insider for Clutch Points, joined on this fine Monday afternoon by Harrison Fagan of SB Nation, of Vox, of, well, just SB Nation, right? Do you get like electrocuted if I say that you're from Vox? Like, is that
I
how
think
that
Vox
works?
signs my checks, so I think you're allowed to say that. I have a hat that says Vox Media. I'm not wearing it, but I do have one.
Oh wow, does Harrison hate Vox Media? I call
Subliminal messages, you know. I think it's like you and Pete said. I think we should read more into people's subliminal messages that they're maybe or maybe not trying to send. That was my takeaway from that show. We should just read everyone like we read LeBron. Like you're showing up, it's like, oh, Anthony in an orange shirt today. Suns podcast coming soon? I don't know.
I put this shirt on and I realized like it matches almost perfectly with my skin. So I got too much sun, I think, this summer, and now I'm in danger of
people got to sign up for the Patreon for the actual shirtless shows. So
yeah,
they know where it is.
Today in the show, we're going to be talking about legacies, baby. It is August 11th. Harrison is drinking from a water bottle that he didn't take the cap off of. It is peak legacy talk season. We are entering, I don't know, I kind of view the whole Doncic era thing as we had like the soft launch back in February whenever he was traded to the Lakers. And then now this is like the grand opening. This is the very actual official beginning of the Luka Doncic era this upcoming season. And it's made me kind of wonder, because like with LeBron, he entered the Lakers organization so late into his career. He was 34 that first season with the Lakers and had already accomplished a ton.
Or so we thought late into his career. It turned out it was like midpoint,
Yeah, that's a fair point. But like with LeBron, I don't think anybody ever thought that he had a chance at reaching Rushmore, realistically speaking. I kind of feel like Luka has an outside chance, depending on, how seriously he takes this body transformation, how long he plays, everything that he accomplishes. Now he's up against it in a few regards, and obviously, most notably, he's up against it because the Lakers are the most iconic franchise in the NBA, if not the all of American professional sports. You could make a real argument there.
It's like, for context, he's like at worst the second best Mav ever, already. And it's like when he gets to the Lakers, it's like, I don't know. Can he crack the top 5? Maybe.
Right. Like it's just like he's top 2 Maverick of all time. Like it's always a funny way to look at this because like if LeBron, there was all that speculation over the summer. Could he go here? Could he go there? Could he go there? If LeBron would have gone to Dallas, he would have been a top 2 Dallas Maverick of all time. Top 3 at most. Between him and Doncic,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the fans would probably put him third, but if like we're talking like, best players to play, I mean, if we're talking best player to ever play for a franchise, he's the best player for any franchise that is, but it's like, was he at that level when he played for them? Maybe not.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like the best player of all time. So he's automatically number one by that metric.
Well, even at whatever stage of career, like if he would have gone to the Sacramento Kings, you can make an argument at age 50, he would be the best Sacramento King of all time.
Who's number one over 50-year-old LeBron? Is it Chris Webber? I think LeBron might be better. Like, I
think LeBron beats.
I think 40-year-old LeBron might be better than Chris Webber. It's
at his peak. I think I agree.
Maybe. I think there's an argument. Like,
I think I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, same position. Bron's better passer, better shooter. Webber I don't even know if he was that much more explosive at that point of his career. Yeah, I think LeBron, like right now, would be the best player in the history.
Here we go. Now, this is August content. Would 40-year-old LeBron beat prime Chris Webber one-on-one? We found our way here. This is our new Jerry West versus Ronnie Price debate.
What teams? All right, so would he be the best Clipper of all time?
At 40?
Mm-hmm.
I think probably. No, they had prime Chris Paul. I think prime Chris Paul is probably better.
I don't know by how much.
He's had his playoff foibles, whatever. He was really good.
He was, but LeBron's second team All NBA last year. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Toronto Raptors. Nah, Kawhi probably beats him.
Yeah, I think the
Like,
year
title
of Kawhi,
year
they
Kawhi
had
probably is
beat
better
them.
than yeah
40-year-old LeBron. It's funny that we're saying probably though.
Yeah, New Orleans Pelicans.
No, definitely, because you factor in defense. Definitely, yeah.
Pelicans. Do we think
it's so funny
AD,
that the Raptors, their best player in franchise history, played for them for 1 year?
1 year. AD probably clips LeBron in New Orleans, right?
I mean, I don't know. I think if you're asking Pelicans fans, they'd name neither of those guys. They'd be like, Drew Holiday is our best player of all time.
That's why they're about to lose their franchise. Let's see. Who else? The Knicks. The Knicks is a fun one.
I think 40-year-old LeBron's better than the Melo the Knicks had.
Oh my God, I think you might be right. Yeah, what a fun exercise. Anyway, that's not the point of the show.
Now we're naming some guys. This is real off-season NBA podcast.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
Like, because Miami Heat, because you have like LeBron.
Yeah, I think LeBron. I think prime LeBron is probably better than 40-year-old LeBron. So Miami,
I would imagine so.
He's beaten by himself.
Yeah. Orlando Magic. Do you think prime Dwight?
No, prime Shaq. I think the version of Shaq they had is better than this version of LeBron.
Which do you think that version of Shaq is better than their version of Dwight? That was Dwight at the peak of his powers.
Yeah. So I mean, probably both of those guys are better than current LeBron. Not probably, they are better than current LeBron.
Yeah, man. But current LeBron's really bleeping good.
Yeah, again, I say that with all due respect to current. Again, the point is that current LeBron, there's like we have to.
I mean, the fact that it's even a conversation,
and he's 40.
Right. But yeah, I was kind of curious. I was kind of thinking about this on my walk from my couch to my office. Like, how high can Luka climb here with the Lakers? And again, he has insane shoes to try to fill here in this regard with the Lakers organization. But he's 26, right? 26, 27, or is he 25?
I believe he's turning 27.
All right. So 27, let's say we give him a decade as a Laker.
He's 26. He'll be 27 in February.
Yeah. So let's give him a decade in purple and gold. And we'll try to lay out some requirements necessary to get into that conversation. I think it's a fascinating one because, it allows us to outline how we view these things, what's important to us, who qualifies for these conversations, all that stuff. So we'll go ahead and dive on into that here in a second. Before we do so, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. If you guys are listening to this or watching this on Twitter, head on over to youtube.com/@LakersLounge to find the show there. If you guys are listening to this in the morning via pod, please hit that subscribe button wherever it is that you get your podcasts, preferably on Odyssey. And if you're wondering why I still sound this way, it's because I got off the plane and for some reason was super sick and I just haven't been able to get over it. And now all of a sudden I'm feeling shortness of breath, which is super fun. So Harrison, this is what you have to look forward to when you get a little older. All right, let's dive in though.
I get sick now. I don't.
Yeah, but you get sick so much easier and things just linger. Like I bit my tongue on Sunday before I was going to do the show with Miriam, and I mentioned it on the show. Since then, that canker sore, that cold sore has actually gotten bigger, which is not a thing that I recall from when I was younger. that like it would appear, and then you would put medicine on it, and you would brush your teeth a ton. And in my case, I actually brushed the sore to try to get like really clean it out. And normally the next day it's gone. Today I woke up, it was bigger than yesterday, so that's fun. But yeah, we're gonna get through the show, and I am genuinely excited for this topic. And I want to start it this way, Harrison. We can't talk about Rushmores without kind of outlining who is our Lakers Mount Rushmores. And I'm going to limit it to just players. Now we can talk about players and what they've done for the organization outside of being a player, but to me, like if you start like, because Jerry Buss would be on my Mount Rushmore, right?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
But you know, you only have 4 spots.
I mean, Jerry West might still make it as a player, but like Jerry West, the executive for the Lakers.
Yeah, you can make an argument. Jerry West could have 2
for
spots.
Sure has to be on there. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, West is on my Rushmore because of the player and executive stuff. Like he just has to go on there. We aren't counting Pat Riley. We aren't counting Phil Jackson because they never. Well, I guess technically Riley played for the Lakers, but he would make it as a player. So we're just saying players. Whether and counting what they meant to the Lakers after their career too, if you want. So for me, my Mount Rushmore goes West, Kobe, Magic, Kareem.
I mean, it's hard to argue with, especially if you're factoring in West. I mean, if you're just doing West the player, I don't think he makes the cut.
Yeah, I mean, I'm counting.
I know it's hard not to
the executive stuff too,
because he did build like most of their title contenders after he retired. He was much more successful at winning titles as an executive than he was as a player, and he's the logo of the NBA, which is kind of crazy. So he's obviously really good. I think
to me, he's the most important Laker of all time.
I think if you're factoring all of it in, that's probably true. I think if you're just factoring in the player career, like to be honest, I think LeBron might already like have him beat.
Ooh, I don't think so.
Just playing.
I don't think so. I mean, no, I wouldn't go.
You got Jerry West beating LeBron 1-on-1?
I haven't beating Ronnie Price 1-on-1. No, I just think I don't think LeBron has been a Laker for as long as West was, for one thing, and
he's won as many titles.
Yeah, but West went to like how many championship series, So
a few.
He's had more playoff success than LeBron has.
I think it's a conversation, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we're having it. So clearly it's a debate, seeing as there's 2 sides currently going on.
But it also does sort of speaks to the road that Luka has to climb to get on there, that we're sitting here talking about if the greatest player of all time is a top 4 player in Lakers franchise history when he played for them.
Insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. What
and you're saying no.
So I'm reading. I don't know.
Case.
I don't know if I'm supposed to mention this or not, but they sent out books. Yaron Weitzman's new book, The Hollywood Ending book. They sent it out, and I'm pretty far into it already. It's been really, really good. I can't wait to talk to him about it.
You know how good a book has to be for Anthony to be further into it than me?
I've been flying through it. I know. Yeah, Avery is like annoyed. She's like, "Why are you still reading?" I was like, "It's probably not great."
Raising her
Avery is shocked to see me read. She's like, "I didn't know you could read."
Dad, I thought you said homework was for losers.
So, excuse me. So I was reading this book, and one of the things that really kind of sticks out to me is how surprised LeBron was. I don't know if you've gotten to this point yet, but how surprised LeBron was by the way that Lakers fans view the Lakers, that like the Lakers as an entity are just much bigger than the greatest Laker of all time. And I think that really kind of surprised LeBron, because he's obviously much bigger than the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's much bigger than the Miami Heat. But in this case, this is the first time.
How dare you say he's bigger than the hardest working, toughest, grittiest, most
most annoying
prepared,
franchise in the NBA. Yeah.
most conditioned, like best tape watching franchise in the NBA. They put it right there on the court, Anthony. They can't lie. That would be false advertising.
Sorry, Heat culture. But so it's
Lamest
funny
thing any
how
team has ever done. It's like Heat culture was cool until you tried to commodify it with like the language shit on the court.
Yeah. Well, like it was cool when it was unspoken, and then they spoke it, and it got way less cool.
Yeah, it's like nobody needed a Heat culture jersey. That could have just been like something that you had, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, I was so what I was kind of struck by is how LeBron was kind of like taken aback at his the media day, his first media day. This is one of the scenes that is kind of painted in this book.
Actually, that was the most recent part that I read was his media day.
Yeah, and how he was very kind of businesslike about it, and how he was kind of surprised how like explicitly people kind of stated the expectations of him as a Laker, and that was really interesting to me, and it really kind of stuck out. And when I see the way that Luka has really kind of approached this very differently, even though he didn't expect to be a Laker, LeBron made it a conscious decision. He, as a free agent, to be a Laker.
It had been in the works for a while too,
especially according to the book.
Yeah.
But so like Luka, is that Sasha or is that?
It's Sasha, my only cat, obviously. According to my landlord.
Oh no, that's I won't say.
Yeah, no,
cat's
it's Sasha.
Name.
It's Sasha.
Yeah,
we dyed his feet white.
Is like an Achilles situation?
That friendly guy. That's Sasha. He's just.
Is it an Achilles situation where like he fell into a bunch of black paint, and you just happened to grab the feet last, and now he just has white feet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was kind of chuckling at that. The part of that whole media day that I wish was repeated in the book was Allie Clifton laughing when LeBron said he can be patient. Remember that? They were talking.
I do remember that. Yes. Now that you mention it, I do remember that. Yeah.
Remember they were asking LeBron about like how excited he was to play with the young core and how he was to watch them grow and all this stuff. And LeBron was like, yeah, man, people know that I'm a pretty patient guy. And Allie, who was new to the Spectrum Sportsnet channel, she had actually come from
with LeBron.
Cleveland with LeBron. Yeah. She just bust out laughing, and
then it's like, oh, wait, that wasn't a joke. Oh, like, oops. There wasn't a pause for laughs there.
Yeah, like, because you could tell that LeBron is not used to like people kind of correcting him or whatever. And I think it was almost like a novelty to it from his standpoint, because he was like, that's, what, fair. Yeah. I just traded my best friend back to the Miami Heat last year. So
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I was kind of thinking about like the difference in LeBron's first days as a Laker and first stints as a Laker compared to the way that Luka has kind of immersed himself in Lakers lore and Kobe, being referential to Kobe and all that stuff. And it's really going to be kind of interesting to see how Lakers fans wrap their arms around Luka. They also don't have the history against Luka that
Luka's
they
never
do
been a
have.
rival to one of their players.
Yeah. Like LeBron was a direct rival to the guy standing behind me here. So that always made things a little complicated. So I never really thought that like LeBron had a real chance at Lakers Rushmore. But I actually think that Luka does. So do you agree though that like the top four, the Rushmore as we see it, as we know it to be, is those four guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can make the case for LeBron. I mean, I guess you could make it depends on how we're defining it. Like if we're talking peaks, like Shaq should probably be on there,
Yeah.
Like Shaq has a pretty good argument to make it because
absolutely
like, again,
in terms of peaks, yeah.
Shaq
That's
is like
probably
the most
dominant
player I've ever seen. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so it does depend on how you're defining it. but I think like Shaq probably has a really good case to be on there. LeBron, I think, has a case to be on there. But overall, I think like the four guys, it's again, they've had so many great players. It's hard to argue against the four that you put. It's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, Kareem sucked.
Yeah. So I have Kareem, because of longevity, right? He was a Laker for a really long time. He won the 5 championships, and was Finals MVP for a few of them. And then, on top of it, since this is where it gets a little tricky in my kind of arithmetic behind it, is that I also factor in whether a player is kind of viewed as a Laker after his career is done.
And
And
Shaq, that's complicated.
yeah,
it's like
Shaq,
kind of, but
Shaq would love it if
also,
we did, but I don't think we do.
But he played long enough at other places that it's like, it's not necessarily it's probably the first thing you think of, but it's not the only thing.
Well, also the way that Shaq left, right? Like, he was Mr. Company Time, and then he wanted to raise despite not staying in shape. Feuded publicly with Kobe.
Different feuds with different players like throughout the years that are on the team. And he has a complicated relationship.
Yeah. And then on top of it now, like, like it was funny when Kobe was still alive, and then certainly right after Kobe had died, Shaq, I thought, had really shown some real maturity as it pertains to like their relationship. But then the other day he goes and says, like, I would have won 3 rings with T-Mac or Wade or whoever. And it's like, you still don't get it, man. And
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, you were so good, you might be right, but it's also like pretty disrespectful to be like, that guy is replaceable by anyone.
Well, the problem is he's wrong, is the thing. Like,
I think he probably is wrong.
Yeah.
Wade, maybe. I think prime Wade probably. T-Mac,
but they didn't overlap. There was no Shaq's prime didn't overlap with Wade.
Again, that's not to disrespect Kobe. It's like prime Wade was just also really good, and Shaq was the most unstoppable force on the planet at the time.
Well, it was also
T-Mac. I think he's dead wrong on T-Mac.
Yeah, well, I like the Wade thing also. Wade was a maniacal worker, and I think Shaq needed to be kind of evened out that way. T-Mac wasn't. That's why T-Mac was always hurt.
That's why I don't think so. I think T-Mac was, like, again, with all due respect, sort of a loser.
Yeah. With all due respect. That was almost like Sasha was puppeteering. He's like, say the word, say the word, say the word.
Yeah, I'm being ratatouille'd right now.
Catatouille. So, but yeah, I like the like what happens after a player's career, Matt. That's why West to me is number 1, is because he had that great Lakers career, and then on top of it, he steps in, he tries coaching, and then after that, he becomes the greatest executive in the history of the NBA, and all of that
communicated with the franchise because the owner's daughter didn't like him. So
yeah, that's tough. But he's always like, I only think of Jerry West as a Laker. That's what made me so angry when he died.
Like the crappy like last years of the relationship with the team. It's like, that guy's a Laker forever. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was also like, it's really kind of murky as far as why people view him the way that they do, and how the team has been run since he left, has been pretty inconsistent. So
it's like, for as angry as he was or wasn't, the team was pretty professionalized when he was in charge.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because he's an asshole. Like,
yeah,
it's so funny when people that you talk to close to the Lakers, as they're currently run right now, kind of talk about Jerry West. They always say, like, God, he was so angry all the time. He was so mean, and he was this and that. He's an asshole. It's like, yeah, that's what it takes to be good in sports. That you have, like, there's no like nice sports icon out there. All of your favorite athletes are the meanest people on planet Earth when they get between the lines. Like when they're focused on their their craft,
okay, that's fair.
Like, yeah, like when they are like in the
like,
thick
they're
of it.
they're ready to kill on the court.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe not all of them take it as far as Jerry West off the court, but on the court certainly.
Yeah. So I don't think anybody's ever knocking off West off of my top spot. I don't think anybody's knocking off Kobe off of my
I think if
second
we're saying
spot.
just as a player, I think West is the one that has the most case to be knocked off.
Yeah, I'm just not saying
But
it's just as a
yeah,
player. Like I'm factoring
yeah.
all of it.
Except
And
for that you
actually,
said it
you
was
can
just
make an argument that actually helps LeBron because LeBron took the Lakers from their absolute lowest and 2 years later won a championship with them,
yep.
and has given them
Made
a
some
pretty
great
high
trades, some
floor.
great signings, you know.
But like, if you want to look at it
Is
that
is
way,
2020
impact on
is
the
2019
franchise.
LeBron one of the like a top 3 GM in Lakers history? Now this is August content, you know.
Yeah. So,
Just 2019 version.
man. All right. So, well, I guess we have to start here. Is there because I'm looking at the entirety of their lives as Lakers. So if we're looking at it that way, is there anybody on Mount Rushmore that you think can be knocked off?
If we're talking about the entirety of their time as Lakers,
Like
I think
Lakers
I mean
lives.
if we're doing everything, then I think Jerry West has to be on there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So do you want to just keep it as players to simplify things?
I don't know. I mean, like, I think it is what it is. Like, I think,
Yeah.
like Luka would have, like, if we're talking about it, if we're being real, Luka would have a hard time knocking Jerry West, like making people think of him as a top 4 Laker of all time over Jerry West, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to Luka. It's just that like Jerry West is always going to be there for people because of everything, because of the playing, because of his executive work, all of it.
So what does Luka need to accomplish? What's the bare minimum that Luka would need to accomplish for you to have him enter this conversation?
He's got to win like I think like at least 3 titles, right? Like
That's tough, seeing as we're looking at the decade ahead of
yeah.
us. He's going to win a third of the championships from here till he retires.
Well, what else? I mean, what else could he do because all of those guys won a bunch of rings as Lakers.
I think Luka's
Especially
going to
if
age
we're
pretty
factoring
well.
in, yeah.
So maybe we give him like 13 years. We say he plays till he's 40.
Let's see if the men's health fitness plan lasts before we say Luka's playing until he's 40.
I'm giving him till he's 40 because he can shoot, he can pass, he's huge. So I think like we might be looking at like old man game for the last 5 years of it or so.
Yeah.
But I could see Luka still being pretty good late, like way late into his career. Injuries notwithstanding. So 3 championships for him to join this conversation or enter the conversation.
Because it is a tougher NBA. Like you almost have to
Well,
give
that's
him
I
like a
was going
little
to
bit of
ask.
inflation. Like it's
Yeah.
you can't because all those guys because Kobe, Magic, Kareem, they all had like 5 rings. I think Kareem maybe only had 4 as a Laker, or
No,
was
I'm
it
pretty
5?
sure he has 5.
He also had 5. Yeah. So it's like, you knock a couple off because I think it's harder to win. The talent is more evenly distributed in today's NBA. So, for Luka to win 3, I think is like sort of if we're accounting for championship, inflation, then, I think that puts him in the conversation at least.
Yeah. Like, it was funny. One of our mutuals on Twitter, Jason Maples, tweeted out today how it's wild that is it the Minnesota Lynx have the chance at winning a championship this year and then also have Chicago's first round pick for this upcoming season. And that could be the top pick in the draft. And he was like, that is wild. I can't believe that would ever happen. And it was like, that's what happened with James Worthy.
No, it's like WNBA is still in its like they're like truly terrible GMs era,
Yeah.
like back in like the NBA in like the 70s and 80s where people were like they're like I'll trade you for a washing machine. Like it's just like,
Right.
it's still there are some who are like truly bad at their job. And so yeah, you do have like these crazy trades.
So yeah, I mean, like, I guess my point is that, like, that wouldn't, James Worthy making it to the Lakers in 1982, right after they won the championship that summer, probably doesn't happen in the league nowadays.
No.
And that obviously was a nice shot in the arm to that run of that dynasty. And then, even when you look at the three-peat Lakers, they were going up against some of there were still some truly moronic GMs running teams back then too. Nowadays,
and like terrible owners. That's the other thing. Like owners that just are like completely short-sighted about ticket sales and like, merch and whatever, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like meddling.
Donald Sterling was still in the league. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have
Ted Stepien.
I don't think he was still owner of the Cavs during the three-peat, was he?
I believe he was. Was he not? Wasn't he a factor in the James Worthy trade? I think
no. That was no. He was.
Yeah.
That's they named the rule after Ted Stepien. It technically could have been called the Worthy rule, because it came about.
Don't put that on James. He like come on. He should get something better than that.
I mean. I don't know. Like, is that
I wouldn't want to be associated with a rule that was made to stop dumb GMs,
or bad owners. No, it's fine. It just depends on how you frame it, right? Because
it's like I was so good that they had to make a rule that you couldn't make trades like I was. But it's like it's more like it's not because of James. It's because the owner
I was
an
so
idiot
cheap and stupid.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I would say, I do kind of weight championships a little higher now than obviously back in the 80s, let alone, before then. I don't weigh it so much because like people keep on doing the whole thing where it's like, if Steph wins one more, does that put him ahead of Kobe? And it's like, why? That he still has fewer championships than Kobe did. And Kobe played only 20 years ago. I don't know why we're doing that already.
And Kobe did it in like two different eras.
Yeah, I don't understand where that's kind of, other than being prisoners of the moment and not recency bias is the term I was looking for there. Like, other than that, I don't see how you could possibly make that claim. But anyway, I do think Kareem's spot is somewhat attainable. So like if like Luka wins 3 championships, I'd be willing to move Kareem and put Luka there instead of Kareem, but it's tough. Like, I could see why older NBA fans would be like, the fuck you will, like I could totally understand why they would say like, no, because you talk about ways that players who transformed the franchise. When the Lakers acquired Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that was a really important step towards Showtime doesn't happen without him. I think Magic kind of helped it over the hump, but like I actually think Kareem was probably a larger key to their transformation than Magic was in the moment. Do you think Magic's spot is attainable?
I just think there's like Magic and Kobe. It's like such a special emotional connection with the fan base. I think that it's like Magic again. It's like one of the worst GMs the Lakers have ever had, and is still a beloved figure in Los Angeles. Like, we're not even for a second factoring that into taking him off of the Mount Rushmore. Like, that's how special his relationship was with LA. And so I just think like Magic and Kobe, I don't think they're ever, I mean, maybe they'll get knocked off after guys like us are dead, but like I think, for as long as like their contemporaries are alive, I think those two guys are locked in on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I think,
which sort of does say something, because both of us are too young to have witnessed like prime Kareem. Certainly, we did not see Jerry West playing days, and we're just like, maybe their spots are attainable. So it just goes to show that like all of this stuff sort of shifts with time too.
Yeah,
and you're always going to be a little bit more biased towards the guys that you grew up with and that you watched dominate, and you're like, no one could be as good as I thought Shaq was when I was 8.
Yeah. Well, that's what's so funny about my stance on Jerry West is that like because we have the super comment, so I'll go ahead, and actually it's pretty fitting that we have this conversation while I'm talking about Jerry West, and I get to play this sounder.
That one's for you, Jerry.
Phil.
Paul Revere should have slept in.
Jerry West, despite all the great things, disqualified himself from the discussion based on all the trash he talked in the shade at the Lakers after leaving. That's from Phil.
See, I would agree if he wasn't right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say in essence, is that like the shade that he
It's like, hey, I don't
threw.
like that you said that, but you kind of had a point, you know?
Right, right. It's like when my daughter every so often will like pat my stomach and she'll say like, "Daddy, do you have a baby in there?" And I'm like, that was a dick thing to say, Avery. You're not wrong, but that was a dick thing to say.
Yeah.
And like I think Jerry kind of noticed a lot of the immaturity
It's
that
like,
was
what did
running
Jerry say,
rampant.
that that they were a nepo clown show? Oh, so like everything everyone in the comments has been saying when they're mad at the team?
Right, right. Like it does it. If anything, it makes it more important that he said those things because it's Jerry West saying it, right? Like if it'd be one thing if it was like, I don't
He
know.
was willing to basically like put his son's job at risk. That's how strong he felt that you know, like the
Yeah.
team was going the wrong
Like if
direction.
Mike Penworthy had some shit to say about the Lakers after he was gone, I'd be like, all right, Mike, bye. But
Yeah.
like if it was, with it being the greatest executive in the history of the sport, you kind of have to say, like, all right, man, he probably knows what he's talking about. And then on top of it, all of those concerns wind up being correct, right? Like we saw
Yeah,
all of
they're like,
that
people are like, "Oh,
immaturity
he laughed at them
eating
and
it.
made fun of them for the Zubats trade." It's like, good. He should have. That was a
Yeah,
dumbass trade.
right, right. So I understand where it comes from. I'm always the kind of guy like I was raised by Chick Hearn essentially, right? And Chick Hearn had no problem whatsoever calling the Lakers out if
Yeah.
they looked like shit or if the team was bad or if it was poorly put together or if it was being coached poorly. Like Chick Hearn didn't hold back, and that's why I've always kind of handled this position that I have in the way that I do is because if I notice something, I'm going to be honest about it, and Jerry West noticed things about this organization, and he had the best vantage point of any of us to have it. He warned us what was going to happen, and then it happened. Right? He warned us that these nepo babies, these immature nepo babies, are going to run this franchise into the ground. Jerry West takes over, and guess what happens? Ran straight into the ground. So here we stand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would probably say I think Magic did put his kind of spot on Rushmore a little at risk by way of how he left as an executive. Um, like and how poor a job he did as an executive and how poor a job he did as a coach. Like that's why like part of why I talk about West the way that I
Yeah.
do is because of how great he was at the other things after his career. But like with Magic, he was a great transcendent icon player. That is not that is infallible. That is not
Who would
in
have continued to be a great, great transcendent iconic player for years to come had he not
yeah.
like had a, you know, medical diagnosis.
Yeah. And so, like, don't get me wrong here. I'm not talking about Magic the player, but Magic the head coach was a disaster. Magic the executive was a disaster.
Magic
And
the late night show host, disaster.
all things important.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, like, even you joke, Harrison, but the fact that like, and this is why I kind of wish Kobe would have tried his hand at being an executive because
No,
Kobe
see, I
is
disagree. I think it's like the memories are so much pure. He just hangs it up, walks away. You just remember him as the player. I respect that. You know, I don't
well,
want
I
to think
get
it's like
that.
Michael Jordan. Like Michael Jordan gets joked about now. He's like, again, arguably the greatest player of all time, but he was also one of the worst executives ever. And so people can make fun of his b-ball knowledge. Like, I never wanted to experience that with Kobe.
Yeah, I get it. However, I think Kobe was incapable of doing something and not wanting to be the absolute greatest ever at it, right?
That's what people said about MJ too. And so he's like, yeah, I got to lock in, watch more March Madness film.
Yeah, but like
Let's go draft Adam
Michael,
Morrison.
Michael, I mean, he built
I
Jordan.
think there's a reason that Jerry West is such an exception among great players being great executives, because most of the time, star players just think that like if everybody worked as hard as them, they'd be just as good.
Maybe I think there's something to that. Larry Bird wasn't quite like that. He was a good coach, and I believe I think
Yeah,
he
he
was
was
a
a pretty good. Yeah,
consultant.
he was a good executive. Yeah, I think he won both coach and executive of the year at different points.
Yeah, so like he was pretty good at it too. The reason I say that I would have liked to seen Kobe do it is because like when Kobe decided to get into media, he won an Oscar. When Kobe, decided to, I don't know, get into like when he started doing NBA media, right? He did that Kobe, what was the show that he
Detail.
used Detailed, and that was excellent, right? That was really bleeping good. It was, in my opinion, some of the best content that was created during that time. So like he had such a track record of success elsewhere that I think he would have brought that same work ethic to being an executive. Whereas when the Lakers hired Magic, I'll never forget my reaction and the reaction to my reaction, because I was like, I don't like this hire. Magic has been a disaster at every other thing that he can't just throw money at. And
Yeah, that was your Magic takes were one of the first things that got people real upset with you online. I remember that was
yeah,
when I knew that you were starting to make an impression. Was like that was one of the
yeah,
first, I think, scenarios where I got a bunch of texts that were like, "Is Anthony on crack?" And now
I
that happens
wasn't.
like once a week, but
Yeah,
but before then it was not as regular.
I was right.
I got so many texts that are like, "What's up with your co-host, man?"
Was it from Magic?
No, that was just
Oh,
that was a lot of introductions on the beat. On the beat, it was like when I was covering the team, it was like, "How do you
oh
deal with
yeah,
Anthony so frequently?"
yeah. Well, I wound up being right about Magic
Yeah,
is the thing. So I stand by most of it. Um, but like, yeah, with Magic's time as a coach, as an executive, I'm not going to say like his spot. I think you're right that Magic, you know, because he was like the face of Showtime, and I also think mortality matters here a lot, because we literally thought that we were going to watch this dude wilt away and die.
yeah.
I think that kind of tugs at the emotional heartstrings, and that's part of why he is never getting knocked off of Rushmore. But he did everything he possibly could to make that
He's
seat.
almost a test case for that. Like if you're good enough as a player, it's you
Yeah,
could do whatever. Like
yeah. So I guess there are three kind of solidified spots, and the fourth one is also pretty damn solidified. But I think Luka could maybe make a real case for that fourth spot there. Um, if yeah, I would say probably 3 or 4 championships. But it also depends too on, again, like what happens after his career, right? Like, is he going to be involved in the organization after he's done? Because part of why Dallas Mavericks fans talk about Dirk the way that they do is because for a long time he has been right there to kind of like, he ushered in the Luka era,
yeah,
and he was right there, sitting front and center whenever Luka did special things there in the American Airlines Center. Like, it was a really cool relationship that Dirk maintained for as long as he could. The current ownership has kind of burnt that bridge for whatever stupid reason.
he's
Um,
pretty much only been at Lakers games since the trade.
yeah, well, because and we'll see, what how he talks about the Mavericks when, because he's going to work for Amazon, right? So,
Yep, yeah.
um, like we'll see how that kind
We'll
of,
see how much he wants to, how badly he wants to be a good broadcaster. Will he be willing to monetize this beef?
he should. If for no other reason, because I think Nico and the Adelsons or Adelsons, they all suck. So like, Dirk,
Fortune
fire
favors the
away.
bold, Anthony. It's
Yeah, fire away. Like, just let it rip on those idiots. It'd be funny if like Dirk is on a Luka call and Luka does something incredible, and Dirk is like, I don't know why Dallas traded this guy.
yeah.
What were they doing? Um, but yeah, I'm. How do you like have this conversation about LeBron though? Like, do you have him higher on your list? Let's take Rushmore out of it. Do you have him higher on your list than Shaq? Do you have him around that, in that vicinity? Like, is he a tier below? Like, how? Because the LeBron of it is really difficult. He's now
It's
going on
tough.
his 8th season with the Lakers. He's been a Laker for longer than Shaq.
Yeah, he's also, even if we're like, if we go back to the excluding the GM thing, you almost can't, because he was doing the GM thing as a player.
That's true.
And so it's like, how much, like, obviously the Lakers have failed him in a lot of ways, but, some of it he also sort of set himself up for.
Yeah. Yeah. But I also think, though, that like he was a big part of the, kill shot to his own Lakers tenure, right? In that he pushed for Russell Westbrook, and obviously Rob was
also
pretty
wanted.
thrilled. Yeah, Rob was also really excited to pull that trigger too. So in that regard, there is that kind of almost Shakespearean tragedy element to it.
Yeah.
In that, like, he is the kind of author to his own demise.
It's like, does he win a second or third title if they don't have to spend 2 seasons just digging themselves out of that grave?
Yeah, probably. I mean, he got to a Western Conference Finals as soon as
does he win a
they
second
were out
title
of the
if
grave.
the Lakers just have more than 3 weeks off post bubble?
Yeah. How long was it actually? It was.
Genuinely, I think it was 6 weeks.
Yeah, I remember it being roughly a month. And
it was very short.
And everybody broke down, right? Like the Nuggets broke down the following year.
Remember how bulletproof everyone was talking about the Lakers after that? That's the other reason the bubble talk like always makes me laugh, is like, remember I think it was like a couple days later, ESPN released like their top 100 players, and LeBron and AD were 1 and 2. And everybody was just talking about the Lakers as like the inevitable favorites for forever. And, Giannis was never going to win a ring because they also had Talen Horton-Tucker and,
Well, no, remember they won the championship and they had the assets to get better.
Yeah.
And I really liked that team from the following year going into that season.
I maintain, I think that team would have won the title if they did not start the season like a couple weeks after.
It was really well put together. Like, I love the Marc Gasol acquisition. That was such a fun team.
There's even a scenario where, like, if Marc Gasol doesn't get COVID, do they win the title that year?
Or does he recover? Like, is there a world where he recovers more quickly from it, and they don't feel the need to bring in Andre Drummond and promise him a starting gig? Like, all of that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I'm always going to feel kind of indebted to LeBron, because
I think the Lakers will too.
Yeah, he chose to go to the Lakers when they were at their absolute lowest. There was a fucking coup attempt, that was going on in the immediate, run up to LeBron making that decision. And then on top of it, he and Clutch does whatever they need to do to bring Anthony Davis to the Lakers. And that pairing was incredible. I'll never forget, like, how the way that all of those series ended, Harrison, in that bubble, where it like started somewhat competitive, but then by the end of those series, all of those teams that they were playing against just had their shoulders kind of slumped. There's like, there's no beating this.
Dead. Yeah.
There's no beating this team. This is the perfect modern.
I wrote a story that probably reads blasphemous today if I were to go back and read it, but I remember writing a story during that title run asking the question of, like, how many titles do LeBron and AD have to get to be seen as like the next, like, sort of Shaq and Kobe type duo? That's how good they were together.
When they were put together, Harrison, I said that was the most talented duo and best fitting duo that we'll ever see. And I truly I stand by it. It just, COVID fucking happened. And and
I think
Russell
that's the worst thing that came out of COVID, to be honest, is that the Lakers didn't win more titles during the LeBron era.
Easily. Yeah.
It's like, if I'm ranking worldwide fallouts of that, it's like, I really wish the Lakers hadn't started the next season so soon.
What's funny is that I wasn't complaining because I was still playing catch up financially from not having sports for a few months.
Yeah.
And not having anything to talk about on Locked On. All right, last thing. Oh, we do have a couple more super comments. But last thing,
we didn't answer. How high do we actually think Luka can get? Do you think he can actually crack the top 4? Because I don't think so. I think it's unlikely that like I think there's more scenarios than not where he doesn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I
Like a
would agree
lot
with
more.
that. But
Yeah.
like you're asking can.
Yeah.
And I
I think
think
it's
he can
possible,
get
but
there.
I think it's highly unlikely just because it's unlikely that you ever have enough success to truly knock those guys off.
Yeah. Yeah, even relative success, you know, and
Now, there will
you,
be that said, there will be like, like your kids' generation. Like if Luka has anywhere close to that level of success, like he will be that generation's Kobe. And so they will be arguing with old people like us in 20 years. It's like,
ooh, that's a
oh, come on,
great,
old man. Like LeBron and Kobe weren't that good.
yeah.
Luka,
Well,
you look at Luka's assist numbers.
I guess that's another fun way of looking at it is like how much could Luca mean to fans? Like
Yeah.
his fans, could he be that generation's Kobe?
I think he
Um,
does have the he's getting here young enough to really ingratiate himself. Again, he's not a historic rival, which was the thing that LeBron always had working against him, was that he was a rival of someone who, like a lot of
yeah.
Lakers fans consider the greatest Laker ever, maybe greatest player of all time in some cases,
And that
and
generation's favorite too. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And so like LeBron always was going to have that working against him. Luka doesn't. Like nobody was sitting here arguing like, oh, Luka's better than LeBron, who Lakers fans are also in love with. And they're not all. So
Yeah.
it's like it's a different thing for him to come over. And I think honestly, the way that he was reacted to the trade was, I think, so relatable and endearing to a lot of people, of like that genuine like sense of like feeling of betrayal. Like I think a lot of Lakers fans almost respect that, because it's like, okay, this is clearly a loyal guy. Like he wanted to be a one franchise
Yeah.
dude. And, so if he shows that same level of loyalty to the Lakers, which so far he's done nothing but,
Mhm.
he's not taking 1+1s, trying to leverage them to make better moves, that kind of thing. I understand why LeBron does things the way that he does them, but it's like Luka has just handled things in a way that is much more likely to ingratiate you to fans.
Is it weird? I think it might help that he goes to Slovenia every summer, and we just get to check out on the Luca thing. We get to like reset, and then by the time he comes back to the States, it's like a brand new.
I honestly think the thing that works most in his favor is that he is not trying to take credit for personnel moves, not trying to get involved with that stuff, or at least not openly
Well, he
trying to
did
get involved
though.
with that stuff.
He did get
Well, he
involved.
said, I want a center.
Right, but no, but I mean, he got involved, but he also was like involved in the pitches to those guys, and
Yeah.
like I'm really curious to see like how he
Does he start
handles.
hiding that more when Rob stabs him in the back after Marcus Smart doesn't work out? Like,
Yeah, I I think I think it's been a pretty perfect summer for Luca so far. Obviously, I think the last kind of box that I would like to see checked would be him reaching out to LeBron, publicly saying to LeBron, "Hey man, let's fucking go."
yeah,
Like just because he is the leader of this team here. There's that weird like, LeBron is still LeBron. Luka's the best player, but LeBron had a better season last year. All that stuff. Like if Luka just reaches out and publicly fires off a tweet and says like, "Hey man, you ready?" Like,
yeah.
or even like retweets like
I think it's
LeBron's
probably
workout,
not going to be a tweet. I think it may be like a phone call to LeBron.
whatever it would be.
I
Yeah,
don't.
like, but
Yeah,
even well, because that's a funny thing though, Harrison. And this is what drives me crazy about like, and this is what Pete and I were talking about. I've talked about LeBron and Luka talking early in the summer, and it just gets no it gets no attention every time I bring it up. They
I
talked
think
earlier in the summer about like how they want to play together, but yeah,
I also think that, I thought Pete made a really good point on your show last week where he was talking about like sometimes it is on Monday. Even LeBron needs somebody to galvanize him at times. And like it's human nature. Everyone does. Everyone needs support and
yeah,
and accountability and like leadership and whatever. Like you can't. You're not. No one is just a leader their whole life in every single scenario that they're in. So this is not like shade at LeBron or calling him a bad leader. It's just like, if I'm Luka and LeBron, like, and I'm sitting there and like, it's like, hey, LeBron, I understand you have your issues with management. You're upset with the way that they handle things. Totally understand. Totally feel you there. We're both really fucking good. Let's go win,
yeah.
and then you can figure out next year. but let's do this. Like, we're not going to play with a player as good as each other for probably the rest. I mean, LeBron almost certainly will not play with a player as good as Luka for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
Because it just seems unlikely odds wise,
Yeah.
given how many years are probably left.
Unless he
Luka
goes and plays with
probably will
Denver.
never play, at least not with someone as accomplished as LeBron. Maybe he will get a co-star that at the time is better than current LeBron, but he's never going to play with someone more accomplished than LeBron. Like, if I'm those two guys, I'm saying, why can't we just go win this thing?
Yeah. Hashtag why not? Here's my
Have
only
you done any
request.
reporting? Have you reached out to the Lakers? You know, are they monitoring the Russell Westbrook situation? You know, still unsigned. They need, you know, just in case. Like, if they trade Gabe Vincent, do they need another ball handler off the bench? You know,
Who do you think like
Hashtag
looks
bring
into
Russ
that
home.
situation faster? Like who's first to look at the situation and be like, maybe, just maybe. Do you think it would be Russ or
I think it's neither. I think they have each other's numbers blocked. Like, you know, it's
forever?
Yeah.
My only request would be like somebody within the Lakers organization send a group text out to LeBron and to Luka and send them that ringer best duos in the league list and tell them both that duo didn't make it to the top 5 duos in the NBA. Just let them both know. It's like, hey, meet.
Bronny, you know what you got to do. It's on you, buddy.
Trio.
Time to contribute.
Yeah. All right. Let's really quickly get to the remaining super comments here. Amon Brar, 1992 asks, is the Sean Devaney rumor true? If yes, what were some of the trade offers for Gabe and Vando? So this is where it's kind of tough because
what were the offers? You give us a first round pick and we will take them.
Yeah, like I'm basing this off of the aggregation to it, and not necessarily the direct source. Let me see if I could find the direct source really quickly. Because
I believe it would be heavy.com because I think that's where he was writing last time I checked.
No, it's like Athlon now.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Take back.
This is where it's so like frustrating because like that sends me to one aggregation of it. All right, finally to Athlon Sports. Oh, so but even in this, he's responding to Jacob's trade proposals.
Jacob Rude?
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Nice.
All right. So here's the quote.
All the leading insiders I know read SSR, so I speak to the veracity of this rumor. So,
still feeling, there's a quote, still the feeling around the Lakers is that the team is pretty much set as is and that no major trades are forthcoming. Stupid ad. Until the season gets rolling, the Lakers have had opportunities to include the likes of Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt in trade packages already, but have declined to do so. Quote, they have not been attacking the trade market by any stretch of the imagination, one Western Conference executive said. Most teams are in a sort of wait and see mode, and I would include the Lakers in that. They want to give it some time before they make a trade, end quote.
To be honest, that sounds right to me. I mean, you know, we know that they haven't been aggressive with Gabe and Vando because being aggressive would require attaching first round picks to get off of those guys or to trade them for any sort of meaningful upgrade. And they haven't shown an appetite to do that. Like, they've tried to make their additions for free and save up their assets and do the 2027, the 2026, 2027, whatever you want to call it, plan.
I think it's always it has always come down to Rob wanting to enter a season with a first rounder in his back pocket, and whether he wants to hold on to that pick for the 2027 plan or whatever superstar that they want to pursue after the season or during the season or whatever, you know, that's obviously up for debate as well. But I never envisioned a world in which Rob would trade his only first round pick and enter his season without the ability to put a first rounder on the table, just in case the Lakers are good enough to invest into this team and try to go out and win a championship this season. I just never saw.
Or just in case he gets a call from his buddy Nico Harrison. You know, you may need a first round pick just ready to go at any time
to get AD back.
Yeah, or like Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
He's
So
like, I don't like how excited the fans are about this guy. He's taken away from my shine, Nico Harrison.
the Kyrie comes back and it's like, you know what? Flag took up one too many possessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would reiterate um the phrasing of it is weird. The Lakers have had opportunities to include the likes of Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt in trade packages already.
I mean, I believe that. They've probably had the opportunity to include them along with a first round pick for players that, are not necessarily warranting of that.
I don't think they've had any real opportunities to move Vando, any realistic ones, because Vando's
Well, okay, so you
contract
say
is
realistic,
so
but like they could
bad.
I know it is, but it's like a team. There are teams that would take it on if they were compensated. But then for the Lakers, it's like, am I getting enough of an upgrade to be worth using that? And the answer is probably no. So it's like,
Yeah.
yes, like you can say, yeah, they had the opportunity to include Vando and Gabe and, multiple like picks or whatever for Wiggins. And it's like, okay, I mean, that means that they had an opportunity to include those guys in a trade, but it doesn't mean it was a trade they were ever going to make.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, technically speaking, there have probably been opportunities, but I don't think there have been any trades that I have heard that would make anybody be like, "Ah, gosh, why wouldn't you do that?" I don't want to give up a first round pick for Andrew Wiggins
Like if the
personally.
Sixers were like, we'll trade you Joel Embiid's contract for Gabe Vincent Vando, and this would not work salary wise, and a pick.
Yeah,
That's an opportunity to trade them. I don't know if it's one I know it's one I would not take.
yeah. But like, the Wiggins one is the one that I keep on coming back to. And like if Miami was willing to offer Wiggins and it didn't require a first rounder going back to him, I'd be willing to pay just about anything to get that guy, right? It would be
But I think they're
Rui
going to
and
want a first for
Dalton
him.
and Gabe.
I don't think they're doing it without that.
Yeah, and well, but that's what I've been saying all along is that like, the Lakers they asked Miami about Wiggins, and they asked Miami kind of who they would be interested in. And then Miami was like, "Oh, by the way, you're including a first rounder here for it too, right?" And the Lakers were like, "What?"
For who?
And I kind of have the same reaction to it. I wouldn't give
Yeah.
up a first rounder for Wiggins, given that I'm sending the younger players on better contracts. I wouldn't give up a first rounder too. So yeah.
And you're helping them set up for their own project 2027.
Yeah, although they never get those guys anymore, so I'm not really worried about them landing
They
anybody.
got Jimmy Butler the last time they tried.
Yeah, but like they weren't able to get Bradley Beal. They weren't able to get Kevin Durant. They weren't able to get Kevin Durant again.
Weren't able to get Bradley Beal. Man, they really missed out there.
Yeah, I know, but they tried and they weren't able to. So like it's like it. I always laugh when people say like it's
you
the
can't really
moves
hold
that
the Dame one against them. They thought that they could just get that done, and
Yeah. Dame is another one.
Yeah.
No, but I like the Beal one is funny because because even Dame would have kind of blown up in their face too. That didn't go very well.
Yeah.
But it's funny when people always do like when their favorite team's front office doesn't do something and it doesn't work out, they'll be like, sometimes it's the trades that you don't make that like wind up being the best thing for you. And it's like, yeah, but they tried. Like it's not like
no,
they,
it's true. Sometimes again, even the best front offices need a little bit of luck because no one bats 100%. Like Danny Ainge would have not the Celtics don't win the 2023 title if Danny Ainge includes 4 first round picks and Jaylen Brown for Justice Winslow.
Could you imagine? Whew. All right, last one here from Phil. No, go back to when he quit over Phil Jackson. Okay, so this goes back to Phil's prior comment. Jerry West, despite all the great things, disqualified himself from this discussion based on all the trash he talked in the shade at the Lakers after leaving. So Jerry left because he was, Jerry was kindly escorted to the door because he was uncomfortable with Jeannie's relationship with Phil Jackson.
He was uncomfortable with one of his employees dating his boss's daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was also like it all kind of falls under the same umbrella in that this kind of insidious nepotism was eventually going to ruin this organization.
Even with that one, it's like I understand why Jeannie would be offended by that. Obviously, like
Yeah.
of course, like
Stay
it's
out of
like
my life.
I'm an adult. You can't tell me who I can and can't date. You know, same
Yeah.
with Phil and whatever. But it's like for Jerry West, I also get like that's a weird dynamic. Like I don't know what's gonna happen here. Like, do I actually have the power to do my job? Like,
Yeah. Let's put it this way. None of Jerry West's criticisms of the Lakers have ever felt out of line, even if I may have had a problem with them if I was Jeannie Buss.
yeah,
You know, like
I also
multiple
understand
things
why
can be
they
true.
didn't like each other.
Well, like Jerry West again was this tortured soul who also happened to be a genius and had a ridiculous work ethic that turned people off at all of his stops. There were
Yeah.
people who got sick of him with the Clippers. There were people who got sick of him with the Warriors. But those organizations also understood they were better off with Jerry West than without him.
Yeah.
And you know, as it pertains to the Lakers, like my problem has always been not only that they let somebody like Jerry West go, not only did they let somebody like Pat Riley go, also considered an asshole on his way out the door too. Like not only did they let all that talent go out the door, but they never replaced it. They replaced it with fail sons. And
Okay.
you know,
I mean, Mitch Kupchak did a good job filling in for Jerry West.
but
He
like
learned under him, and he ended up like being a pretty good replacement.
but the trade wound up being Jerry West for Jim Buss.
Not
You know?
well,
'Cause
eventually,
Mitch
but
was
not right
technically
away.
always there.
Eventually, but not right away.
Yeah, but like
And
Mitch
Jim
was
probably
always there.
would have been put in there like he learned under Jerry West.
Yeah, and
Like he was always going to be a part of that.
But I'm saying that like in terms of people walking out the door, people walking into the door, the swap was Jerry for Jim, and
Yeah.
you know that's a Zubats trade.
Yeah, I think
Organizationally,
I'm going to go ahead and say even like I think Jim sometimes gets an unfair rap for a few things, but I will say that not Jerry West. I'm willing to go out there on that limb.
Yep. All right. I think that's going to do it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of the Lakers Lounge podcast. Thank you, everybody who continues to tune in as we get into the August months. This was a fun conversation. I enjoy.
Did we bring back legacy talk? Does this put us on the legacy talk Mount Rushmore?
Ooh, are we on the Lakers
the Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmore discussion?
Mount Podmore, Lakers Mount Podmore?
No, I don't think so.
Let's see. I mean, there's only like a handful
Chick
of
Hearn,
No, Podmore. He didn't podcast.
Original that radio broadcasts were the original.
Not Broadmoor, Podmore. I think we're on there somewhere. Right?
Maybe you. I don't think me. I don't think I've done it. I have too much respect for the craft to say that I've done this enough.
Too much respect for the craft. Dude, we built Locked On Lakers together, and then this has been another kind of successful project.
You know, I think you, I think the Kamenetsky bros, I think Darius, Trevor, Pete,
you got to mention your internet dad there.
Whatever, he's fine. Overrated.
All right. On that note,
I
have a great
day. The other day about someone having a bag, and he was like, "What does this tweet mean?" And I was like, and I explained what a bag is to him. He's like, "I know what a bag is." In basketball context. So just for those of you wondering, Pete does know what having a bag means in terms of basketball. The film room has picked that one up.
Awesome. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Make somebody else's. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow.